Whether you love or hate Donald Trump, it's hard to deny the impact he's had on the immigration debate. With raids by the Department of Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, ramping up since Trump took power, a number of undocumented immigrants across the country have claimed sanctuary in various churches, and I was lucky enough to speak to one of them. As of 2018, there were 4 undocumented immigrants claiming sanctuary in Connecticut. 2 of them, Malik Naeed bin Ramen and Zahida Altaf, claimed sanctuary in Old Lyme. Back on the 19th of March, they began living in the Old Lyme First Congregational Church. And on October 17, they announced that they would be leaving, given that the government did not oppose their stay filed with the Court of Appeals. Their case attracted nationwide attention, including this particularly tone-deaf segment on Comedy Central.
ICE is making Malik wear an ankle monitoring device that he has to keep charged. It's like how if you let your cell phone die, you go to jail.
Couldn't have thought to charge that before he sat down with me?
That is funny for you.
I'm just saying if my civil liberties were being violated, I think I would prepare a little better for guests.
In New Haven on November 30th of last year, Nelson Pinos went into sanctuary in the First and Summerfield United Methodist Church. He has lived in the U.S. for more than 20 years, has 3 children, all of whom are U.S. citizens, and has been paying taxes to a Social Security number given to him by the government decades ago. Although I was originally slated to interview Mr. Pinos on camera, Vanessa Suarez, an activist with Unidad Latina unAcción, told me the following. Nelson Pinos would like to take a break from interviews at the moment. The family is going through a difficult moment as they await response from ICE based on a recent motion that was filed. The 4th individual claiming sanctuary is Sahu D, whom I sat down with last month. He's been living in the Unitarian Universalist Church in Meriden since October 9, 2017. Mr. Sahu D came to the United States on a student visa, obtained his master's degree at Columbia University, and then a PhD from the University of Connecticut. After the visa expired, he elected to stay, before being caught by ICE in 2011. Prior to 2017, he had been on a stay of removal for 4 years. He has not left the church since claiming sanctuary there.
2001, they said it's closed door, right, to immigration. But my friend, a lot of people coming. I don't know what they come. You don't believe when they ask you years later, like coming in. Right? And say, again, locked and coming again. What's going on? When something happened. Yeah. If closed door is closed door, stop. Taking care of people is here first, whatever, Yeah. And this is why when I say I take the job, you think I get the job. You lost the job, I lost the job. I get educated, they cannot do anything. Educated, the same thing going down. Yeah. The way how they treat immigrants. If they treat young people also not good, young people get the same problem.
Let's back up. What exactly is claiming sanctuary? Does entering a place of worship really ensure that someone will not be caught by ICE? The answer is a bit complicated. According to Slate, sanctuary is not without historical precedent. American churches made similar efforts on behalf of runaway slaves in the 19th century and Vietnam War protesters in the 1970s. And conservative-leaning Fox News even notes, the sanctuary movement was established in the 1980s as Central Americans, particularly from El Salvador and Guatemala, entered the U.S. illegally to flee wars in their countries. Churches banded together to provide support and asylum for these refugees. ICE's official website notes that a number of different locations are considered sensitive, such as schools, hospitals, places of worship, funerals, or weddings. In general, enforcement actions are not to occur at or be focused on sensitive locations, but there are a number of exceptions. According to the American Civil Liberties Union, the concept of sanctuary in a place of worship is not recognized by federal law. Before claiming sanctuary in the church, Mr. Sahu D faced difficulties with the law firm representing him.
No, before this, I'll go to New York to see my lawyer, attorney. My attorney is very nice. He's always go to most of his time is in the court most of the time, and who prepare is the attorney his partner. It's not really good to me so far as I know, and probably because of the secretary to work with. It's not really good, the secretary. This is why when I leave, I talk to him. You have to know that I have no choice. I have to leave you because I know you want to work for me, but we also in the court all the time. Who prepare for this court hearing is other people. Even I cannot see it. Most of the time it's been blocked by the secretary and people, the staff who work with. I would come and then finally cannot see it. It's very disturbing. In years, in 2 years, I get nothing, or just stay removed. I remind my lawyer, this is the year that you can file my case. And she didn't listen.
Despite being confined to such a relatively small area, Mr. Sahu D hasn't let this affect his mood.
Yeah, I keep positive. This is why I talk to people. How do you feel? You see, if you go, for example, you go to by plane, you go by train, you don't see mostly the same. It's the same like you go by plane. It's still the same all the time, and pretending you're on the sea. You get the same, and you have to use idea. This is when I teach my students. Bring your idea, your imagination.
I was pretty surprised about how upbeat he was. In fact, he even mentioned that he doesn't personally hold ill will toward individual ICE agents.
Not all ICE people bad, right? Not also ICE people good, because I know who is arrested people. Sometimes they don't, without reason, they arrest people. But who's doing in the detention is very different people. You know? Sometimes they can joke they with the people. Yeah, they're human being, whatever, you know. Yeah, the immigrants bad, ICE bad. It's not really because they're human being, whatever human being.
Nevertheless, even Mr. Sahu D describes his own case as difficult.
I have a very difficult case to remember everything, paperwork, whatever. Sometimes I have to make it together, because when I just suddenly left my home, even I only bring the material what is needed, but we have other material at home in case needed for the court hearing. Who knows, right?
Given the current political climate, it's hard to imagine most undocumented immigrants receiving amnesty anytime soon. The Trump administration has been unwilling to soften their hardline approach to the issue. In the latter half of the interview, I asked Mr. Sahu D if he keeps up with the news. His response was not unlike many citizens I've also spoken with.
You know, once a week is enough. You know, when you see, you can get the idea, because you see the news before, right? You can get the pattern of the news. It's my point of view is news is important only for, you know, to get the idea, because when you see, because I'm here in years, right? So pattern is the same.